Hello, we're live. I don't know if we're not live on the tubes yet. Hey, Beth, I see you in the chat, girl. Hey, girl. Uh, and I know she's doing not a lot today at work because she said as much. And you know what? I don't blame her. She worked hard. You girl, you sit and take care of yourself. Hey, Bree. Um, welcome to Double D Life Chat.
Yes,
Uh, Daniel is here from Tackyisme and I.
I am. Barely, but I'm here.
He's clawing on.
I'm clawing on.
How's the weather? Because we have to talk about it.
The weather, give me a minute.
Oh, are you gonna sneeze? Bless you.
Hurt me. That
Bless your child.
was a long one coming. Wow. The weather is beautiful. It's 70 some degrees here. It's just absolutely gorgeous, except for all the bugs that are out.
Not the bugs.
Well, they gather around the door. It's I don't know what they're called, but they're black and red bugs, and they
Oh yeah.
gather all around the door, and they
Uh
fly all over you when you walk out, and then you bring them in the house, and then they're all over the. Yeah, it's really ticking me off.
huh. They're in my hair.
It's just like
Well,
you.
like you don't have that
So,
problem,
but
but
yeah, it's been absolutely wonderful. I think temperature's supposed to change somewhat Saturday. I think we're supposed to get rain Saturday or something.
yeah.
But in another week, according to what I've seen in the future forecast, it's like in the 40s for the high.
Wow. So it's starting to get there. It's starting to get that cold temperature.
We'll see. I'm just amazed by these temperatures. It's just,
It's called global warming. We won't talk about that. That's not
I
what we're
mean,
here for.
I was out yesterday running around my flip flops and shorts. Love it.
Yeah. Come on, flip flops and shorts. Here, not so much. It's not so much flip flops and short weathers. Um, hey, Angela. It is the high today was 53. Yesterday, it was blowing a gale, child. Honey, it was blowing and blowing. And that sounds really bad. It was very windy and rainy. It was raining like the Dickens. Today, it was sunny, cool, high 53. Overnight low will be 47, 48. And then tomorrow, again, a high will be 53 again with partly cloudy skies. You know, autumn weather. So
I wished I was there.
I wish he was here too, child.
Because let me tell you, I could buy groceries a lot better.
Well, what
Notice
makes you
how I'm bringing this up to bring us into our topic.
right? Yes, yes.
I watched a video of a guy who lives over there who's American, and he did a comparison of Aldi prices over there versus here. So what you can buy for $39 over there cost us $77.
Really? That's because the pound's not worth crap now. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, I love. We have Aldi here. We have one right down the street from the house. I love it. We have Tesco, of course, which is the main grocery store. Tesco. Um, but I do love an Aldi, and I do love all the nonsense in the middle of the store that I don't really need, but I should buy because I want it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hey, Kelly.
He did another one that I think had Tesco and some Meyer, or I don't know which one
Morrison's.
here. So he compared those prices, which were more uppity, shall we say. And you guys are much cheaper on your food prices than we are.
We are. And which is bizarre because we do live on an island, and we do have to import a lot of stuff. I mean, obviously we have beef, we have chicken, we do grow things here. But if we just lived on what we grew seasonally, we would not have the same amount of choice, you know, that you do. But we have to get a lot of our hey Monica, hey H Welch, we we have to import a lot, which has to, that's the whole thing with Brexit and the Northern Ireland, Southern Ireland border thing, which everybody's mad at. I'm just mad at Brexit. Everything else is insignificant. I'm just mad about it. But we're not talking about either of those things today. We're not. Hey, Shirley, we're not talking about Brexit. We are somewhat talking about groceries, but not in the way you think. So what I wanted to talk about was, because we're getting up to the seasons, we're getting close. We're at the home stretch now towards no, I don't live in Ireland, but Lenny, hello, thank you. But the issue with the Northern Ireland Southern Ireland border situation with the trade is I'm glad I know I said welcome Lenny, welcome. It's just like, I'm just mad about Brexit. Anyway, she's just mad about it. But no, today we're going to talk about the run up to the holiday festive season, the
She never
holiday.
did tell you she lives in England.
Oh, sorry, Lenny. I live in England. Yeah, I don't live in Ireland, but I live somewhere else. I live in England. Sorry, yes, the Midlands to be precise. So we're going to talk about holiday foods, like the history behind them, the traditions of holiday food, around the world. And I say holiday food, I'm oh Leanie. I rhyme with Jeannie. Okay, Leanie. Oh, thanks for telling me because we would keep calling you Lenny. All right, Leanie. Thank you so much for telling us because we would really still be calling you Lenny. So
And I may still because I can't
yeah,
remember anything.
you don't remember nothing, child. You remember nothing. So we're talking about, and I'm specifically talking about Thanksgiving, which is really only celebrated in the U.S. and Canada. Like Canada has already had their Thanksgiving. The U.S.'s Thanksgiving is coming up. We don't have it here in the U.K. as such. I do celebrate it here, but I have to book a holiday. They're like, sorry, that's not a thing here. You got to book that. So instead to book a day off. And the foods around Christmas and why, the traditional foods, the foods we like to eat, the foods we don't like to eat, the foods we dread seeing every holiday, or the foods we enjoy. And I just wanted to talk about it because it's, like I said, it's coming up. It's coming up quick, y'all. You might be planning your holiday meals now, or you may be lucky enough to go to someone else's house and they cooking. You know what I mean?
Well, and I will put out there that more than likely this holiday season, the meals will probably look different than they have. Because not only are we dealing with high prices, but we also had the bird flu thing go through. And so now
Okay.
chicken and turkey and eggs and all that stuff
Oh
is
my.
skyrocketing. They are
Yeah.
just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yes, Lini, he lives in the United States of America. So
I do, but I
he's,
want to move to England.
yeah, there you go.
I want to live in a shed behind Dolores's house.
Thank you. That'd be fun. I didn't put my name up. It's just like Miss Damn Jewel. You just should know my name. It's Dolores, by the way. If you're new here, my name is Dolores. Um, so anyway, and I let's start with everybody's favorite. Well, or not. That's probably a hot topic, a hot button issue. Cranberries. You not a fan? Funny because I wasn't either. As a child, they would cut that thing, because you got it from mom wasn't making them. She's like, it's in the can, here you go. I made everything else. You can can it up with the, tofurkey, yeah, for everyone. I mean, hey, don't knock it till you try it.
I did. It's not turkey.
Okay.
And this is coming from somebody who was a vegan for 3 years.
Yeah, I was a vegetarian for a long time. Yeah.
It would never, you just can't. There's nothing that you can do to replace that.
You could shape it in turkey. It's still not going to taste like a turkey.
Yeah.
I grew up with my mom made all the, like I'm sure most people in here, your moms or your family members made the main meal. And mom was like, she got to the point where it was like, I made everything else. Open the can. Open the can and eat because I've made everything else and none of you little punks here help me. So we had the can and I hated it. I was like, whoop. I wouldn't eat it. A Festivus, yes. Kelly Festivus. I mean, everybody get your Festivus poles out. Get them all ready for the season. My friend actually has one. But in the history of cranberries is really interesting. Obviously, they were indigenous to North America. And I want to say this right. Wampanoag people in southeastern Massachusetts have used wild cranberries for a very long time. So it was always in their food, in their dishes, and what they made. And obviously, and the great thing about cranberries are they were obviously sources for food, taken as holistic medicines to fight fever, swelling, and seasickness, used to dry clothes, probably used to dye as well because the color. I'd assume that they would use some of the cranberries to dye stuff. Maybe not. Maybe they used other fruits and vegetables to do that. But I wasn't ever a fan of cranberries until I became an adult, and I mean in the last few years. But we don't really. I don't think we sell the can here. We sell a jar, and when you open them, they look like fresh strawberries. I mean, fresh cranberries. It looks like someone made the cranberry sauce. It's not like that gelatin thing. So I like that stuff here. But the can, yeah, it just be wiggling on my plate, and I was like just pushing it to the side. I was like, yeah, thanks, mom. And um, and obviously, the how do I say it? Wampanoag people uh would they have cranberry day, and which is very important to the tribe, and it's just I like, and it is controversial. Like you don't like them, I like. I mean, I didn't like them until like I was an adult, and it's just one of those things that whether you like it or not, it's part of what you expect to see. You know, if you walked in someplace and you're like, you didn't like cranberries at all, you didn't want them on your plate, but you'd be like, hey, where are the cranberries? Even though you don't like them, you want to see them though. There, you want to see them.
We never
So,
really had. I mean, once in a while we would have them, but because none of us liked them, we just never really had it.
so it wasn't a thing really in your house,
No, I mean, once in a while, if mom wanted to do the full, because I think she ate them, but I, don't-
right?
I I just don't remember having a whole lot because none of it. We'd pass it all off, and then they would be stuck with eating cranberries for.
I know forever. Yeah. Look, yes, it's a tale as old as time, H. Welch. Berries versus jelly. Controversial. Hey, Ghost girl. Um, and so I saw Kim came in. Hey, Kim. So that was one of them. And this was, now this next one, I think that, yeah, I think that he was showing me our pumpkin puree in a can. He was all proud of it. He was like, look, I got yeah, holiday food. He was showing me the pumpkin in the can. Oh, because he makes the food here. I've taught my British husband to make Thanksgiving dinner within an inch of its life. So yeah, I, I help. I'll be like, you need to stir that. That looks like it's burning. That's how I help. Um, so the other thing was, and this is weird because I don't associate this with. I do it. I associate this with the end of the year, which is collard greens. I don't. I associate them with like good luck in the South. We eat them, black eyed peas and collard greens. Uh, you know, collard greens, which they think that they came from the Mediterranean initially, and obviously they've been brought over here by Africans that were forced to the United States. Well, over there, forced over there, in the United States. So they brought a lot of their traditions with them, and collard greens is uh, like it symbolizes good luck and prosperity to us. Yeah, and black eyed peas, pork, and yes. Collard greens combined with black eyed peas. Yes, Leanie and Beth. Yeah, that's exactly how I grew up. Um, and it's and that yeah, it's a New Year's thing. And I guess that's part of the holidays as well. New Year and everybody. Did you ever eat collard greens for the New Year? Or were you done south? So
No,
that's that thing.
and the thing I always associated with was sauerkraut or cabbage for the
Okay,
New Year. I mean, that was the thing. Sauerkraut,
right.
cabbage, one of those is what you would eat.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like that's in the same country, and you have like such different traditions where you're in the Midwest and like down south, tech. I mean, I don't see. I don't consider Texas South, but it's the South that you're gonna get before you hit Mexico. But that's how we were brought up. We had to have collard greens, black eyed peas, um, pork, other things. And hey, Sandy, my father ate pickled herring, and I did too. See, that's a thing here, but that's a thing. No, It's a thing. I think it's in Norway that they eat that. I'll have to look back at my notes. But so like I said, I grew up eating collard greens, but I don't know, if anybody else did. I didn't know if it was a thing.
I'm sorry, I'm
So
laughing pickled herring because it just reminds me of the Golden Girls.
the what?
The Golden Girls,
Oh,
because Rose was from St. Olaf and she talked about pickled herring and all that because they were Scandinavian.
oh, oh, yeah. And Alini grew up in New Mexico. The name of the town is Truth or Consequence. Oh my God. Um, wow. That's a long thing to write. That's an interesting name. I think that's pretty cool. Turkey. Lutefisk. Never heard of it, girl. No, I'm sorry. Don't know. But remember, I also grew up in. I'm Hispanic. I grew up in a household, and both my parents were Mexican. Both my parents were from Mexico originally. Moved over as children, and so in my household, yes, we had the traditional turkey and dressing, but we also had tamales. So, you know, so obviously my parents incorporated, um, obviously the American traditions, but obviously had their own. So it was all mixed in, which is pretty interesting. I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of food. I'll tell you what, we did not. I mean, we did not go hungry. But again, like I said last time, tamales is a very um, labor intensive food that you need about 10 to 15 ants to help you, make them. So there's another thing, and turkey. Obviously, well, maybe not this year. Hey, Renee. Uh, Maybe not turkey this year for you guys. But see, we haven't really had that here. Or if we had, I haven't heard about it because I'm still eating chicken.
No, I mean, we still have it. It's just that the prices, for instance, I used to be able to get a bag of chicken breast, frozen chicken breast, and it was like $5, $6. It is now $9 to $10
Sorry.
for a bag of frozen chicken breast. And they said that the turkey price, I never look at turkey because I'm not going to cook a turkey. I never
Right.
have. I'm not going to. But they said the prices of turkey have like doubled.
Which
And
I
I
mean,
know with the turkey rolls, because they were a dollar something for the ground turkey that you would
oh
buy
yeah.
instead of ground beef, dollar cent. They are now $3 a roll.
See, that's that. I mean, that's a whole that should be a whole other discussion, the prices and why, because I think some of that's a little bit sketchy to me why they're charging so much money. But I'm not a farmer. I don't know.
Tell you because the
Yeah.
election's going on, and there are corporations that want
Right.
certain political parties in, so they're going to make it look bad until.
Agreed. But we're here to talk about turkey.
Just saying, yes.
We will definitely have that discussion a different day. But so in like, why is turkey the traditional centerpiece of the holiday dinner table? Well, Thanksgiving mainly. Um. So what else is it? Obviously, there's a whole tradition that the pilgrims ate it, and because it was probably wild turkeys running around all, New England when it was really new, and but there's really no proof to back that up. I mean, there's no like documentation. There's no notes on it, but it's just probably the stories that's been passed around, and you know, so and oh, and here's the thing. So this was interesting to me that the politics equal turkey. I know, Bree. Where have we come to? What have we come to? Um, so they think that the association of turkey and holiday meals comes from the influence of presidents and like significant historical figures like Alexander Hamilton or Abraham Lincoln. I don't know why that's associated with it. I'm gonna have to maybe Google that later. It's like, was Abraham Lincoln fond of a bit of turkey leg? I mean, I don't know. I mean, but who is it really fond of a big old turkey leg? So yeah. So that was interesting. Now, the next thing may not be everybody's bag of tea or jam or whatever, but sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes.
Sweet potato casserole every
Yeah.
year.
If you don't see it, you're going to be mad at somebody.
Nothing like sweet potato casserole. Now, I'm not talking sweet potato pie. I'm not talking boiled sweet potatoes. I'm not
Sweet
talking
potato
about baked
casserole.
sweet. I'm talking about sweet potato casserole. We did not have marshmallows on top of ours because not a lot of us like marshmallows. We had just the pecan crunchy top
Right.
on
Yeah.
top. Oh, so good.
He said, oh.
So good. So good. Because my mom combined two different recipes. She had one for the innard and she had one for the top. And the two combined together, heaven, absolute heaven.
So yeah, and we didn't have with marshmallows. My mom was a diabetic. She didn't need no help. You know what I mean? Like she was gonna, she was type 1 diabetic. She wasn't gonna, well, let's put marshmallows on them, and I go into a coma. So we just had the sweet potatoes, and I loved them. I absolutely loved. I still love them to this day. Beth says Lovey loves sweet potatoes, but not with brown sugar. Well, of course not, girl. He's fit, so he's always out there working out. He ain't eating no dang brown sugar. Um, yeah, pecan pie. Again, another thing I didn't like until I became an adult was pecan pie.
How did you jump to pecan pie?
I don't know. Someone put crunchies on top, and you said pecans, so that made me get to pecan pie.
That's what was on top of the casserole.
And then it went to pecan pie.
Like, wait a minute. We just jumped way right from sweet potatoes into pecan pie.
I know. Sorry. Go back to sweet potatoes.
Everybody's still talking about sweet potatoes over in the chat.
It was like, wait, we're still on sweet potatoes. Girl, stop. I do like sweet potatoes. And they were native to South and Central America, where indigenous people have eaten them and cultivated the delicious vegetable for thousands of years. Thank y'all, because it's delicious. Oh, Bree's allergic to pecans. Sorry.
That's to be you.
He said it. I feel bad for you, Bree. He was talking about how it sucks to be you, okay? Remember that.
I feel bad for her too, because I know
do.
there are a lot of people with peanut allergies.
Yeah, nut allergies.
It's dangerous for them.
Very dangerous, yeah.
Man, that pecan crust on top of that. Oh, it's so good.
He said, oh, I'm thinking about it now.
It's so good. I gotta call my sister for the recipe.
So yeah, it's just and obviously it's become, over time, it's become a popular pie filling. And but the word yam comes from the African word nyami, referring to starchy edible roots. So interesting. And so now, stuffing, dressing, whatever you call it. What did y'all call it?
Stuffing.
So we call it dressing.
Stuffing, because you stuff the turkey.
See, Shirley Weiss, a homemade dressing. Psh, thanks, Shirley. She's on my team. Team dressing. Yeah. Do you whip the potatoes, or do you leave in chunks? I like chunks on sweet potatoes.
Thank you, Leanie.
She said stuffing. Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, my mama used to make homemade dressing. And so when she made the dressing, the stuffing, y'all, she would make two different ones. Because here's what, because she had persnickety children. My mom was an angel, okay? She was an absolute goddess, because she would make ones, they'd be exactly the same, except one had olives in it and one didn't.
I've never heard of stuffing with olives in it.
It was good. My brother does not like olives, so she made him stuffing without olives, and I had the dressing, well, the stuffing with the olives. Like the other side of us, everybody else was fine with the olives. My brother, who was persnickety, had, and she'd make two. And this is why we had cranberries in a can. She wasn't making them. It's like,
so Chestnuts. Well, and here's the thing: there are so many different. We're going to call them stressings. We'll just combine dressing and stuffing
What'd
together.
you call it? Stressing?
Dressing,
Stressing. Yeah.
dressing, because
I'm into it.
that's apropos for my life right now too. So we'll just call it stressing, because my brother used to make stressing that was sweet, and it had the chestnuts in it, the raisins,
Oh,
and all that stuff. Hated it.
never had a sweet one.
Hated it. Could not stand it, because to me that was not stressing.
Right.
Stressing was mama's homemade stressing, and that was sage and oyster dressing. Stressing,
Mm.
stuffing. And the thing is nobody in our family except for me and mom and dad liked oysters. So she would never tell them, and she would chop them up
Real fine.
really, 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 really fine and put them in there, and everybody loved her dressing. So, see, I call it dressing and stuffing both,
Right.
because I don't care. I'll call it whatever it is.
Just put it on my
I'll
plate.
call it good. That's what I'll call it. As long as it's sage and oyster. Well, it doesn't have to have oysters in, but the sage dressing. To me, that is what I associate with the holiday meals, is the sage dressing.
See, sausage and sage, Sandy, stuffing, because they call it stuffing here. They call it stuffing. Sausage and sage stuffing is very popular here. In fact, they make stuffing balls. It just sounds wrong on all levels. So they just get the, hey, Stephanie, they just get the stuffing and make them into little balls, and then they bake them. And they're actually quite tasty, because like a little crunchy on the outside, soft in the middle. Ooh, chef's kiss. They're so good. So I do like those. Yeah. So, and the other thing, here's the one thing.
Did your mom ever stuff the bird?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think, because
She did the whole thing.
my mom being up at 4 o'clock in the morning, shoving that up there.
Getting out. Well, first she had all the giblets and whatnot out of it. Yeah. Or if we got fancy, my dad would buy the turkey with it out, but it was in a bag separate, so she could make all the, like, is it giblet gravy or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
She'd make all that. So, girl, H. Welch, Dave loves stovetop stuffing.
That's what I buy now. And you know what's really good is that is very diversified, because I buy it now and I eat it like potato chips. Instead of buying a bag of potato chips, buy some of that dressing.
Yeah.
As long as you have the bigger, it is so tasty if you just crunch on that. And I found out if you put that, since we're on to, I used some of it because I didn't have any crackers to make salmon cakes with.
Oh,
and I put some of that in there.
Was it good?
It's my new favorite thing now. We won't be using crackers no more.
Crackers,
more stuffing.
Stuff me, yeah. Yeah, I like, Dave likes stovetop stuffing. And when the first time he had it in the States, he's like, oh my God, this is so good. So he actually made some last year, and he chopped up olives and put them in there for me. Like my mom. Like I said, yeah, I mean, it wasn't the same, but it was still good. And it was nice that because I said, well, yeah, Mom, she used to make a dressing with, like, olives. And so he chopped them all up and put them in.
I've never heard of stuffing with olives.
I don't know. I used to, that's just, who knows. But it was a recipe she saw in the Ladies' Home Journal back in 1965. Who knows?
But again, I put olives in my macaroni and cheese. So, hey.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah. I just saw a recipe for pumpkin mac and cheese, and now I want it. I love it. Looks really good. So there's this, what's it called? There's guys, just real quick, since we're talking about food and holiday food. Yes, Stephanie, my mom did too. She put my mom also put celery in the dressing. Yes, ma'am, she did that too.
I think well, I know she put onions in it. She may have done celery too, but maybe not every year. I don't know.
Right.
Unclear.
Yeah. But it's just, and these things like we're talking about right now, and it's not even eating the food. It's talking about, the memories that we associate with the food. like, like, oh, well, when my mom did that. And it's just, and it does. I think that's part of the food. I think that's part of the big meals and the, not so much getting together, but preparing it, because it reminds you of, um, when you were younger and you had those times and the holidays when they meant, so much to you.
Yeah, because
You
that don't happen now. I'm alone, and there's none of that gathering together now. I haven't been in 2 years or so, but my sister does Christmas, just a small Christmas get together at her house, and she does all the traditional stuff
Yeah.
that we had. But I haven't been there for a couple years, and it's not like, oh, sad me,
Yeah.
I'm alone because I don't mind it
So
at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
I don't like gatherings anymore, especially with mom and dad gone. It's just not the same. And I don't go buy a bunch of stuff for me to have on that day.
Right.
And now the prices are the way they are. I'm
Right.
really not going to. We'll probably have a piece of bread and some cheese.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and it's only Dave and I, so we don't make a whole turkey. We make what we call a turkey crown. It's just the breast part. It's usually, and they'll put stuffing in it. You can buy it with stuffing or without. It's just us two, and um, we need, and so we'll. But what he does is, because we'll have leftovers. So what he does the next day is he chops it all up, whatever's left, the turkey, the mashed potatoes, the stuffing, whatever little vegetables are left. He'll chop them all up, right? Make them into patties and then cook them. Delish, absolutely delicious. So, yeah, way too much drinking. Yeah, they are comfy memories, Stephanie. They are, and that, I think that's what, um, we what we a lot of us look for when we try to do these things, when we try to replicate, or you know make the same recipes, or just have that, hey Rebecca, just have that, those memories. So what does Rebecca say? Has anyone had the green jello with mayo, cottage cheese, pineapple, and evaporated milk? It's a no for me. No, I'm sure it's lovely,
No,
but I've never had it. Huh.
I've had cottage cheese and pineapple together,
Yes.
but not all of that together.
Yeah, it's just so gross. I was like, that sounds lovely. And she's like, it's disgusting. I'm like, okay.
Doesn't sound lovely to me.
Oh, her family makes it. Yeah, she just kind of avoids that bowl. She's like, I'm gonna skip over that. She puts just a little on her plate to be nice.
See, our thing was always pies because my brother makes pies,
Yeah.
and mom made pies, and so our desserts were
Hi.
pies or some chocolate something, or stuff like that. So
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing. Now, this is, I don't know if this is, what I'm about to tell you, I love, and I love it, and I love it. I don't care, fight me, because green bean casserole. I love it. Dave ain't a fan, but he'll make it for you. He'll be like, but obviously when you follow the recipe, you make like 10 gallons of it. So he has like half the recipe, because he's like, we don't need 10 gallons of green casserole. It's gonna eat it all. It's like me. I am,
yeah, I'm not a
but
fan of it.
I do like it. Yes, with the French fried onions on top. Yes, yes,
Yeah, mom
baby,
used to
yes.
make it. I didn't, and my sister makes it. I won't eat it, and she also makes corn casserole
Yeah, my sister-in-law makes it. Mhm.
with pepper. It's almost black on top with pepper. I'm like, I cannot eat this. I cannot
You
eat it.
sneeze as soon as you see it.
She just laughs about it. She thinks it's funny. I'm like, I cannot eat this stuff. That is too hot.
That's, I mean, when you can see, when it's just a black top over, you're like, yeah, I like hot spicy stuff. Yeah, but yeah, I do. I love the green bean casserole. Yes, heavy on the onions. And I don't. I'm sure you all know the story, but I found it fascinating how it came about.
I don't.
Campbell.
Tell me.
Okay. So I'm sorry, am I boring you? No. Are we boring you here,
Yes, you
Daniel?
are. I am very, very
He's
bored.
like, I woke up early. Leave
We're
me alone.
talking about green bean casserole. Come on.
Uh, he's like, get on with it, woman.
Tell the damn story.
So the modern version of it was standardized by Campbell's in 1955, simply to promote
Mushroom soup.
mushroom soup because it was the one thing people were buying. You were buying all the other soups. Tomato soup, of course, is a big hit. You know, you get your tomato soup and a grilled cheese sandwich, and you're in. So they hired this woman, and she made like they got all these like chefs or people to make things with their soup. Hey, Kathy, and you know, and her dish was the one that won, that they picked, and they really pushed it. And to this day, green bean casserole is a staple for like Thanksgiving dinner. Hey, Jane, I see. I actually like it's the same. I like mushroom soup on its own, and I'll cook pork chops in it when I used to cook. I don't cook much no more. Why? When I have a husband that does. So you hate tomato soup, Beth? Oh, girl, that and a grilled cheese sandwich. Oh,
I don't understand tomato soup in the. Don't get it. No, it's
yeah.
gross.
You come home on a cold day, which is very rare in Houston, Texas, mind you. The couple of days it was cold, Mama would make you come home from school, she's like, well, I'm gonna give you a grilled cheese sandwich and some tomato soup. I'm like, yes. To
Ours
this
is
day,
chicken noodle soup.
chicken. Yeah, well, I would always have that when I was sick.
No, we
Just a sandwich for her.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, yeah. He was just giving me some notes, babes. He's so good. He's even got notes for me. So that green bean casserole. So that was interesting. On the traditional holiday foods. Oh yeah. Obviously. Hey, Sally. Let's talk about pie. Now we can talk about pie. Can we talk about pie now? Except for not pecan pie, because it'll kill Brie. But and I saw earlier people were saying apple pie and cherry pie. Yes and yes. Thank you for bringing those up.
I like all pies.
I do.
Yeah, I like all pies because
Yeah, he's like, you think. Yeah.
chocolate, pecan,
Coconut cream.
Coconut cream. Well, I like the taste. I don't like when it has actual coconut in it. I don't like that.
You like the taste, but you don't want to feel the coconut.
And I cannot stand to eat rhubarb pie.
Oh, I don't like rhubarb at all.
Because
it's a big thing here.
I don't mind the taste of it, but the texture is just gross.
Right.
I cannot get past I just cannot. So
hey, Gina, thanks for coming in.
Favorite probably chocolate pie though.
Yeah.
With whipped cream all over the top of it. But cherry pie is excellent.
Cherry pie.
I love cherry anything.
Yeah. My aunt used to make a mean cherry pie. That and a cherry cheesecake. Ooh, she could make. Oh, stop. So good. We're gonna be really hungry after this.
I don't consider those pies, Heidi. We're talking sweet pies.
Oh yeah, pumpkin pie. Yeah, mincemeat pie. That's like a mince pie here, which is like what is it? It's like fruit. It's all kinds of like fruit and like.
See, sauce. I never had a mincemeat pie. Nobody ever made them. But all I had in my mind, it was chopped up meat, and I'm like, ew, gross.
No, it's no.
Never realized that it was a bunch of spices and fruits and stuff until
I'll send you some
years ago.
I'll send you some. I'll send you some mince pies. They're actually quite nice. You have obviously that's like right now they've already started selling mince pies. So yeah.
Banana pie.
Oh,
pineapple pie. Me to getting off the topic of pies a little bit. Banana pudding. Oh, that was one of the things we'd always have too. There's nothing like banana pudding. It is so good.
With vanilla wafers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the slices of bananas and oh my God, it's so good. We would always have that. That was really good.
Eccles cake. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of meat pies here in the UK. We have one called a Scotch pie, which is like hamburger meat, and chef's kiss, it's really good. But you can eat that all year round. Yeah, and obviously pumpkin pie, which is our favorite. And Dave, I even told Dave has now learned how to master the pumpkin pie. I mean, why is the Scottish man making all this American food?
We have a wonderful story. So my sister decided to do, she hosted a Thanksgiving, her first Thanksgiving one year. And so she made the whole meal and everything. And then she made pumpkin pie and she set it out. And I was younger, so I didn't even eat it. Because, when you're younger, you don't
Yeah.
like certain things. So I didn't even taste it. But she said everybody was eating that and stuff. And then she got done with all her stuff and she sat down to eat it, and she said it was the most gross thing ever because she had forgot to put any sugar or anything. She thought you just dumped the can in there, and she said she noticed that people were putting all this whipped
Whipped
cream.
cream on.
She goes, they all ate that pie, and it was horrible because I forgot to put any spices or anything, and it was just pumpkin.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. His first pumpkin pie was that way. He just thought it was supposed to be just the pumpkin and the stuff was already in it. I was like, hell no, you're supposed to add all the stuff, dude. He's like, well, I'm not American, am I? I'm like, well, no, but there's instructions. Read them.
Then do them and bake it yourself.
No, no. And it's not like you could go to the store and buy one here. I've only seen it one time, and that was in a Costco in Sheffield. You know what I mean? I've only seen it
When you go
once.
to buy pies here now, oh my God, they're like this big and they want like $10 for it.
Rude.
I'm like,
Absolutely rude.
how is that going to feed anybody?
Kathy, yeah, the recipes are on the label of the can. Yeah, they are. Well,
Who reads anymore? That's overrated.
but there is oh no, Jazz, you said it's raining in hell and we're supposed to get snow. Girl. Well, get that tomato soup and grilled cheese sandwich out and make you feel warm. But I was going to tell you guys real quick. There's I follow it on Instagram. It's called Half Baked Harvest, and it's a lady who has and I actually signed up to her newsletter because oh my gosh, she's got the best recipes. So if you're interested, I'm sorry, Corey, keeping you up.
It's been a rough week.
It has been, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, so just go follow Half Baked Harvest, guys. They've got some of the best recipes. Oh my god, so good. Oh, so good. So now we're going to talk about just for the last bit of this, different foods around the world and holiday times, and we're going to talk about if Ghost is still here in the chat. Am I saying this right? Babka, which is a traditional bread dish. It's sweet bread. It is broken at Christmas Eve following a fast. So they set out a piece. So the Polish family set out a piece, extra place setting for the lone wanderer who may pass through. Oh, yes. So that's the thing. They're usually meatless. So Christmas Eve, Polish tradition, they don't eat any meat. They eat fish. And they make pierogies. Oh, pierogies. Oh my God, they're so good.
I'm sorry. I laugh because every time I hear that, they don't eat meat, they eat fish.
Well, they don't eat. They eat fish, but they don't. It's like they're not eating
Meat.
like red meat or chicken. They're eating fish. So and my friend, carp. They usually have carp. So my friend Jamie, she's not in chat, but her in-laws were of Polish descent, and they always had a big Christmas Eve. And I was fortunate they both passed away now, but I was fortunate to be invited several times to their house on Christmas Eve when I'd go over to Texas, and but we would do catfish because it's Texas, catfish. We would do catfish, and she would make pierogies, and it would like there'd be no like we would eat all fish, and we would read stories. And I never had the babka though. I don't think she had that. And the pierogies are late. I mean, it's like tamales. It's labor intensive. She started like a week before, and then like froze them so they'd be ready to, because it was just like a lot to make. So and that's a tradition that actually my friend and her sister-in-law have now carried on since her in-laws passed away. They've carried the tradition on, which I think is really nice, very very nice. And also in Sicily, fish is a big deal. That's a little nod to Monica, although she's not in Sicily, but it's Italy. So they eat a lot of fish in Italy around the holidays. It's a feast of seven fishes. Traditionally, Roman Catholics fast on Christmas Eve, so a feast of 7 or more seafood dishes at the end of the celebration of the area's plentiful seafood bounty. So I thought that was good. And England, it's like mince pies. That's it. That's all we eating. Mince pie. That's it. We don't have nothing else. No, but actually, Dave wrote me a little note. Scotland, holiday food, hogmanay, which is New Year. Black bun, it's a very rich fruit cake, and a Dundee cake, which is similar. Very, very, hey Beth, very, very thick and bready. And Burns night is haggis, neeps, and tatties, which is haggis, neeps are turnips, and tatties are potatoes. So, yeah.
I didn't understand what you just said. I will starve to death in Scotland because I'm not going to be able to understand what people are telling me.
Haggis, which is haggis. It's just like a meat. What exactly is haggis?
I love how you're trying to explain it to us, and then you're like, "What exactly is it?"
It's basically like a sausage meat.
Sausage meat,
right? With spices.
With spices.
A little bit of oatmeal and stuff in it. People get the wrong thing because in the old days it was cooked in a sheep's stomach, but that's load of bollocks. Nothing like that happens nowadays. Okay?
It's not. They have fried. We'll get to that fried chicken in a minute, Beth. Hang on. They do have fried chicken, and we could eat that. But so haggis is the sausage meat that used to be wrapped in a sheep's stomach. It's not anymore. Don't panic. Neeps are turnips, and tatties are potatoes. So they say haggis, neeps, and tatties. Is how they say it.
The wheat dram. Dirty little holiday meal. I'm going to Scotland.
So in France, they make a cake. It's a bûche de Noël. I'm probably not saying that right. It's a version of the Yule log. So it's like the Yule log, which is a rich cake filled with to look like a log, shaped decorated with meringue and with little. Oh, they have like little mushrooms and stuff on them. Like they make the meringue into little mushrooms. It's almost like a forest. It's like a log with things on. That sounds amazing.
Man, that sounds very time-consuming.
Yeah. Also in Italy, they eat panettone for Christmas, which is like a sweet bread. It's gorgeous. It's chef's kiss.
You know what? I have to say that I think the fruitcake gets a bad rap because I like fruitcake. I like it. It does. I do. I like it.
Yeah. No, you're not going to sell me on it. Now I'm going to yawn.
You're not going to sell me on those tatties and
turnips, potatoes,
tatties and sheep gut. Nope.
Hey, spirit junkie. Yes, Gina. Tamales at Christmas, obviously. And speaking of fried chicken, in Japan, their big Christmas Eve dinner is KFC. Yeah, I mean Kentucky Fried Chicken. So, which I found interesting. So, Christmas Eve dinner of choice is KFC. Yes, the American chicken chain restaurant. The tradition began in the 70s with an ad campaign and grew into popularity from there. The Japanese now order their Christmas chicken weeks in advance and can also grab a cake and champagne when they pick up their orders. Now, why don't our KFC do that?
You know what? I should do that this year for Thanksgiving. Go get me a bucket of KFC on the Thanksgiving Eve, and then I would have it. Probably cost me $50, but hey, you are still blocked yourself.
Yeah, sorry. I was cough. I still have a bit of a cold, y'all. Sorry. I don't want to be all like hacking up a lung on, live. Yeah, I think that the KFC in Japan is funny. I just thought, why not? You know what? I mean, I just think it's great that they can pick up their Kentucky Fried Chicken, grab a cake, and some champagne on the way out.
Well, it is kind of funny, especially when you think about the Christmas Story, and they went to, well, it's not the same thing, but they went to a Chinese restaurant for their Christmas meal.
I just, it is easy cleaning. You don't. There's no cleanup. You just get your food and go. I mean, when my parents got older, before they passed away, they used to go to a cafeteria in Texas called Luby's and pick up their they would call in advance and order their Thanksgiving dinner and pick it up. My mom wasn't cooking.
KFC. It's that comforting thought that you have just bought a whole heart attack meal. It is the most comforting thing ever, knowing that you're going to bite into that and you're going to taste all the grease and the salt and the sugar and the love it.
I just bought my death. Excellent. Diane Herman, right? I remember, Luby's was great. It was this great cafeteria. I used to love going there. Have I ever had Scottish fern cake? No. I don't even know what it is, but I'm going to now find out. After my mom passed away, we had to do Chinese for Thanksgiving. I like that, Rebecca. I do. I really have to say I like that. Yes, Luby's cafeteria and Fur's cafeteria. I've never heard of Fur's. I remember Wyatt's cafeteria.
The thing that I don't like about that is I feel sorry for the people who are having to work.
Yeah.
Serve others a holiday meal while they're not able to be home with their people on a holiday.
Well, I think the cafeteria, I think you picked it up that morning. And after, so you would pick it up that morning and it would all be cooked like the day before they cooked. And then after like a certain time, they'd close the that was it. You had to pick it up by 10 or something. And then have the rest of the day off.
No KFC in Belgium.
Oh, girl.
Oh, sorry, Heidi.
I'm so sorry. Look at us. We're like, oh. You're probably better off without it, Heidi, really. Well, I mean, speaking of foods from other countries, when I went to Scotland, I mean, that was that whole trip was just a heart attack waiting to happen. I mean, all the greasy, wonderful food they have. Woo! Because they'll fry anything. Trust me. But the bakeries in Scotland are so good. They, we've got bakeries here in England, but the Scottish bakeries, something about Scottish bakeries that are just so good. I love them. I mean, I want to move there.
Well, and also I'm just going to say, also on the note of talking about this abundance of food and stuff, let's also not forget during the holidays that there are people out there who don't get to eat or who don't get to have all this stuff. So let's keep that in mind, even though we're supposedly the land of plenty. Well, this is all over the whole world.
Right.
There are people out there who do not get to have these wonderful meals for the holidays. So let's not forget that. And especially this year, I think it's going to be a lot more.
Well,
I mean, honestly, and I'm not, oh, sorry, me and everything. But I mean, that's the way it's going to be for me because there's just not a whole lot of extra stuff to go around. And so those who have families and stuff that are going to have to try to have meals, let's not forget that even though we have all this wonderful memories of all these wonderful things, and there is all this wonderful things, that let's not forget that we do have the people who may not be able to enjoy stuff. So don't think we're sitting here
Right.
not thinking about other people or not knowing
Right.
that times are tough. So I
And
just want to put that
yeah,
out there.
no, and right now, and this is people right now are using food banks more than ever. People with full-time jobs who have, made the same money that they've always made are now having to use food banks, which when it gets to that point, I think as a whole, the country should kind of look at themselves. I'm not being funny, but I think, wait a minute, and it is for anybody. The food banks are for anybody who needs it. And yes, definitely donate if you can donate to your local food banks. We do. We have it's right around the corner here. We can go to Tesco, buy a lot of groceries, and put them in in this box, and they all go to a local food bank here in Clay Cross. So, um, it's and you do have to stop to think of other people's, or if you can help in a soup kitchen, if you not have plans for the day, if you don't don't want to go spend it with your family, or you think you'd rather do something else, go work in a food bank, or I'm sorry, a soup kitchen, where they give out meals to people, and that's because even if you can't give, if you can't afford to give, but you can afford to give your time, then that's just as important as any physical thing you can offer somebody. So yeah, Rebecca, Rebecca, I hear you. I was, you know, as a single mom, having to go and get help is difficult. And it's, no one, and there's no, and people are always stigmatized that, oh, you need help, there must be something wrong with you. It's like, no, times get tough. And sometimes those things are out of our control. We, as hard as we try, we still need help. So never feel bad about asking for help or getting help from a food bank or anything like that, because that's what they're there for. They're there to help people in times like this. And again, I think all governments, especially in the Western world, should take a long, hard look at themselves and ask, why is this, why is we letting this happen to our people, So sorry, off the soapbox now. And I just wanted to talk about, how food connects us during these times, during holidays, during these, it's coming up to the season. And even if you have neighbors that maybe are alone, or they're elderly, or they're not getting out, even if you just pop in and bring them a nice pie, or ask them if they need shopping done, or if they need any help around their yard, even that is a lovely gesture. And that's kind of what giving is,
Mm-hmm.
giving to others when you can. And even if it's your time, that's just as good as anything else.
And this whole season, from the fall season, it seems to be all about food. There's something about when fall hits that brings on all the food, because people start baking and making candies and then getting ready for all the holiday meals and stuff. So there's something about the fall, winter time, October through December, that is associated with all kinds of foods and candies and all that stuff.
Right. And it is, like I said, but I think, like, part of the psychological reason we do it is, one, the time of year where I think it's inherent in us to gather and prepare for that. It's just in our nature. And two, it gives us that feeling that we used to have maybe when we were young, or times were easier or better, and we associate that with when times were simpler. Well, they might have been for us because we were children, but they probably weren't for our parents. Do you know what I mean? Our parents struggled just like we are now. So it's okay. And it's okay to ask for help. Never feel like you can't, because you always can. All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. And I'm so glad I had this chat with you guys. I'm glad you all came in. I appreciate everybody's
Don't forget
commenting and
thumbs
telling us
up.
all about it and all of the things you love. And thumbs up.
Give
don't
the
mind.
thumbs up. Give the thumbs up for stuffing, dressing, stressing.
For stressing.
Thumbs up.
I better get a bunch of thumbs up for that one.
I got a turkey waddle going on.
You're so stupid. All right, guys, you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next week on Daniel's channel.
That's right. Don't know what we're talking about, but yeah.
We'll figure it out. I'm sure you'll have a good one. All right, guys, take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.